just been asked to peer review an academic paper. It's that mix of feeling honored and maybe a little overwhelmed, right? Don't worry, you're not alone. In this explainer, we're going to break down the entire workflow step by step so you can feel totally confident contributing to your field. Let's dive in.
Think of this as your personal roadmap. We're going to cover everything, from the moment that first email hits your inbox to when you click that final submit button. Our goal is to give you the clarity you need to handle every stage of this really important process.
Okay, so your adventure as a reviewer all starts right here. It begins with a single email from a journal's handling editor. And this isn't just any old email, you know? It's basically an invitation to help guard the quality of science in your field.
So what's actually in that first email? Well, you'll get the manuscript's title and its abstract. This is kind of your first little test. Based on just this information, is this research really in your area of expertise? This is all you get to decide if you're the right person for the job.
Now, this part is a huge deal. It is a non-negotiable rule. Everything is confidential. You're being given a backstage pass to unpublished research. You can't share it, you can't discuss it with anyone. That's a major ethical no-no, not to mention it could violate privacy rules. The bottom line is simple. What you see stays with you, period.
All right, so you've read the abstract, and yeah, the topic is a perfect fit. Now you've come to your first big decision point. What you do right here really gets the whole review process rolling. But hold on. Before you jump in and click accept, you've got to do a little homework first. Number 1, deadlines. Can you actually give this paper the time it deserves by the due date? A rushed review doesn't help anyone. Number 2, any competing interests. Is the author a friend, a close colleague, or maybe even a direct competitor? You have to be honest here for the review to be unbiased. And finally, take a minute to read the journal's specific reviewer guidelines. Every journal is a little different, and knowing their rules up front will save you a headache later.
After you've done those quick checks, it all comes down to this one simple but really critical choice. What you decide right now determines what happens next with this manuscript. So, let's look at how this choice plays out. If you accept, fantastic, you're on to the next step. But if you decline, don't worry, the system keeps things moving. The request just gets sent out to a new potential reviewer, which means the process doesn't get held up for the author.
And that's exactly why responding quickly is so incredibly important. It doesn't matter if it's a yes or a no. Letting the editor know as soon as you can is a huge sign of respect for the author's time. Remember, a fast no is always, always better than a slow maybe.
Okay, you're in. You've accepted. Now for the main event. It's time to put on your expert hat and really dig into the manuscript itself.
You can think of this as a 3-step mission. First, you'll download what's called a blinded version of the manuscript. Then, you do the actual review, applying all your expertise. And finally, you'll take all your thoughts and organize them into a formal report.
So what in the world is a manuscript blinded file? It's really simple. It's just the paper, but with any information that could identify the author, like their name or where they work, totally stripped out. This is so important for a fair review. It means you can focus only on the science without any potential bias about who wrote it.
All right, you've done the heavy lifting. You've read the paper, analyzed it, and you've got your notes. Now it's time to package all of that insight and send it back through the journal's system. Let's walk through how to do that.
When you go to submit, you're probably going to see 2 separate boxes for comments, and you really need to know the difference. The first box is for feedback that goes to both the author and the editor. This is where you want to be constructive and professional. Your goal is to help improve the paper. The second box is for confidential comments that only the editor will see. This is the place to be more frank or to raise any serious concerns you might have.
And here is a pro tip that's super easy to forget but is absolutely critical. If you typed up your review in a Word doc or something to upload it, you have to make sure that file is blinded too. Go into the document properties and scrub your name and any other personal info. The goal is a double-blind process, right? So your anonymity is just as important as the author.
So you're at the finish line. Let's just do a quick final check. Did you upload your blinded review file? Check. Did you paste your comments into the right boxes for the right people? Check. And did you make your final recommendation? Accept, reject, revise? Check. Once you've got those 3 things done, you are ready to hit that button.
And submit. You should get a confirmation right away, either on the screen or in your email. At this point, your main job as a reviewer is officially done. You've made your contribution.
But wait, you might think you're totally done, but your involvement doesn't have to end right there.
So what happens after the editor takes a look at your feedback and makes a decision? Let's talk about this final phase, which is really all about closing the loop.
A little while later, you'll get another email letting you know that the authors have responded. Now, this is really important. For a lot of journals, including the one in this example, there isn't a formal second round of review. This notification is just an FYI. It's for your information. You don't have to do anything else.
But if you're curious, and let's be honest, who isn't? You can usually log back into the system. You can often see the author's point-by-point responses and even what the other reviewers said. It's actually a pretty cool way to see how your feedback made a difference and to learn from the whole process. It's all completely optional, but it's a nice way to see things through to the end. And with that final step, your job as a peer reviewer for this paper is officially complete. You volunteered your time and your expertise to make the science in your field just that little bit stronger, and that is a huge, vital contribution.
You see, the process itself is pretty straightforward once you break it down, but the impact you have as a reviewer, it's massive. Why does this all matter? Because good peer review is basically the immune system for science. It helps keep weak or flawed research from getting out there. So the next time that invitation shows up in your inbox, you won't just be ready, you'll know exactly how important your part is in this big, global conversation of science.